sixth talk of this session will be presented by Wakash Dixit from Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, Chennai in India. Uh, the title of presentation is Experimental Validation of Free Space Coherent Beam Combining Simulations for Field Aperture Configuration. But before moving on, let me remind you that the speaker is not online, so he will not be able to take live questions. There will be an email address. If you have any question, please contact the speaker by email. So please play the video.
Good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Dr. Wakash Dixit from Department of Electrical Engineering, Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, Chennai, India. Today, I'm going to present my work on experimental validation of free space coherent beam combining simulations for field aperture configuration. Abstract of my work is a theoretical model for field aperture coherent beam combining has been developed and the simulation results are validated through coherent beam combining combination of 200-watt laser beams using a diffractive optical element. So the fundamental question is what is the difference in coherent and incoherent beam combining, and why we are just emphasizing on the coherent beam combining. As we know, in incoherent beam combining, we are getting the intensity is equal to 2I only, whereas in coherent beam combining, we are getting an intensity of 4 times if we are combining 2 beams. So that is n squared, right? So in various directed energy laser weapon system configurations, people are exploring coherent beam combining as a way to go forward and combine the multiple kilowatts. So coherent beam combining is typically achieved through either a tiled aperture configuration or a field aperture configuration approach. Of these approaches, CBC using a field aperture is an attractive as it promises power scalability with minimum deterioration in the beam quality. In this paper, we have developed a theoretical model to capture such abnormalities and evaluate their effect on the beam combination efficiency. The corresponding simulation results have been experimentally validated through a coherent combining of 200-watt laser beams using a diffractive beam combining element and active phase control based on the SPGD algorithm. So this is, you can see the schematic of the simulation model where we are going to launch two beams within a specific angle onto the DBCE to combine the beams. So a theoretical model is developed to realize the coherent beam combining at 1064 nanometer wavelength using a DBC as consistent with the experimental setup. So the DBC is basically is a reciprocal element which works as a splitter and combiner depending on the direction of beam launching. If we are launching beam from this side, it will work as a splitter. And if we are sending a beam with a specific angle, it will combine the beam. So in numerical simulation, we consider the two laser beams of diameter 10 mm, resolution 2000 by 2000 pixels, separated by a distance of 54 mm. The two beams are propagated up to 750 mm and allowed to incident on the DBC with an angle of 4.13 degree. The tilting between these two beams in simulation is controlled by propagating the incoming optical field through a Blaze grating. Beam propagation at various distances is simulated using a Huygens-Fresnel diffraction index that you can see here. So if you see the simulation results, you can see this is the source plane, and when beam starts propagating, it will come closer and combine at the 750 mm propagation distance, and after that it will combine and propagate it as a single beam. So now you can see. So for validating a simulation result, what we will do, we will check what is the intensity of the two beams I, and this is the I for one beam. This is for the second beam, and we can combine, so the I become 4 times of I. So you can see the beam profiles here, and the PSF, the corresponding PSF. So I also plotted the inner squared energy. So inner squared energy of the each beam and the combined beam is the 4 times of the particular beam, right? So based on the above model, as you know, whenever we are going to implement any experimental setup, we are using different kind of optics like mirror, lenses, beam splitters, and all. So these all the optics will add some optical aberration into the beam that will degrade the overall beam quality. So the beam quality majorly in the high power laser domain is defined by the M-square parameter. So the M-square of the combined beam without waveform aberration means in ideal condition in simulation it is found to 1.04, and for what experimental setup we proposed, the total wavefront aberration added by optical component is estimated to be lambda by 8, which degrades the M-square of the beam combined beam of the 1.29. So that we estimated simulation. The after adding that much of aberration, the overall M-square will be 1.29. So another thing, the effect of misalignment on the efficiency of the beam combining is also studied by introducing the size tilt in terms of using Jernic tilt component in between two beams by launching onto the DBC. By analyzing the fringe width, error in launching the two beams is anticipated, and the error it's found to be less than 0.05%. So you can see here beam profiles and the corresponding PSF, and we estimated the efficiency in the simulation. So as we know, if the misalignment error is less than 0.05%, the efficiency will be larger than 80%, but it will drastically degrade when we increase the misalignment error. So now the next part is the experimental implementation part. So this is the experimental schematic for validating the coherent combining of two laser beams and checking the M-square of the combined beam. So the experiment setup for validating the simulations of coherent beam combining of two lasers using DBC is shown in figure. The output power of the narrow line width TFV laser is split into two parts. These using 50-50 beam fiber splitter, these fiber splitter will go into the PJTs, two PJTs that will control the phase into the two beams. Now output of the one PJT will go into the variable delay line to match the if any mismatch is happening in between these two fiber portions. So now the output of these two arms will go into the high power amplifier. That is a yttrium doped amplifiers, high power amplifier. So that we procured, that we are not with, so that is procured. So now output of the two high power amplifier is going to into the two high power collimator. So these collimator will give the output of 10 mm of the collimated beams. These beams are propagated up to DBC using the mirror M1 and M2, M3 and 4. M3 and 4 is the main mirrors which will make a separation of 4.13 degree in between these two beams, so that we can have a efficiency, better efficiency, right? So the SPG controller is fed by a photodetector PD, while a shock hardening sensor and a power meter is used to measure the power and the beam quality of the combined beam. Okay. So for validating the experimental setup, we did the experiment at low power initially for the combining of 2 into 2.5 fiber lasers. So we can easily see we are close to 4 times of I of the combined beam, and this is the experimentally recorded PSFs. So now we are launching 200 watts lasers, and you can see when the controller is on off, the power is fluctuating, and when we are locking the loop, controller is on, the total combined power of these two lasers is 153.3. That is close to somehow 79%, right? So you can see this is the recorded intensity profile of the combined beam and the corresponding phase profiles, right? So in conclusion, we can say we achieved a combined output power of 153.3 watt for 200 watt lasers beam, limited by that 79% diffraction efficiency of our DBCE. The combining efficiency is analyzed and found to be close to 97%. So now the important is the M square parameter, which we, for that we generated a simulation model. So the individual beams, what we recorded, that is close to 1.23. And the combined M square of the combined beam is 1.29, which well agrees with the simulation results. So this is the references which I used to prepare to develop a simulation model and the experimental implementation part. So before ending the presentation, I would like to thank my Professor Balaji Srinivasan, Professor Deepa Venkatesh, and all my colleagues who helped me in the development of this model. Thank you for your kind attention.
Okay, thanks the speaker. As I mentioned, that the speaker is not able to take questions now, so please contact the speaker afterwards. The session will resume in 2 minutes.